Hello everyone, and welcome to another devlog for Cultist Astronaut. In today's video, we are going on a dive into the eerie depths of the Sludge Haven level. We'll be looking at the new NPCs, hunting down new collectibles, and exploring the early concepts for the boss fight. Additionally, we'll look at the overall level design. The denizens of Sludge Haven are as diverse as they are mysterious. There are 9 unique NPCs you can interact with, each with their own stories, secrets, and roles to play in your adventure. Let's get to know a few of them. First up is the Eldritch Tourist, who you'll encounter across multiple levels of the game. This nonchalant entity is a fragment of the God of Doom, who is scouting the galaxy to assess the threat level of other cults. You can meet him on Sludge Haven, a hostile trash world, where he shares some friendly yet cryptic advice about the imposter cult.
You're on a trash planet, home to a bunch of nobodies all trying to be somebodies. If anybody's going to give you trouble, just aim for the eyes. Everyone is a bit strange, but what do you expect from a cult on a trash planet?
Next, let's meet Lance, a stoic goatling stranded on planet Sludge Haven. He's a remnant of a failed scientist expedition sent to investigate the imposter cult. Despite the uncertainty of his fate, Lance's determination to study the imposters and neutralize their threat to the galaxy remains unshaken. Lastly, we have Jerry, a lovable nobody who has managed to carve a sliver of identity in the imposter's world. Despite being a nobody, Jerry was given a name by the regulars at the Sludge Saloon, which bestowed upon him a sense of identity. You'll first encounter Jerry investigating a noisy disturbance at the bottom of the spire. You have to decide to chat about a range of topics from the nature of the spire and the worms to the location of the local cult. These are just a few of the characters you'll encounter in Sludge Haven. However, we have 6 more that we haven't covered. We have Myra, Jared, Fisher Lee, Great Godfish, Gerald, and Fun Gus. You will see some of these NPCs when we talk about the collectible artifacts. Who are you most intrigued to meet? We'd love to hear your thoughts on these characters in the comments below. We've also introduced 7 unique collectibles, known as artifacts, to the level. These optional treasures offer additional lore about the cult and the planet you're exploring. For the imposters, the artifacts consist of trinkets discovered in the trash or assembled from trash-based components. Some of these artifacts date back to a time before the landfills, when Sludge Haven was a bustling utopia. The first artifact is the Cracked Mirror. This mirror was shattered by an imposter who surprisingly began to regain their sense of self while peering into it. You can find this item in the Six Falls secret room, which requires you to follow the trash through a sequence of doors. If you get the sequence wrong, you will have to fight a wave of enemies. If you get the sequence right, you will find the hidden room. The second artifact is the Fisherman's Tackle Box, which you can obtain from Fisher Lee. This tackle box contains fishing supplies and a picture of Fisher Lee with his friends at the bar. This artifact has sunken into the depths of a lake and requires Fisher Lee himself to fish it out. The third artifact is the Glowing Scale, which is obtainable from the Great Godfish. These glowing scales are said to be the source of the fish's longevity, deceptive nature, and narcissism. You can meet the Great Godfish beneath the depths of the spire, and if you attack the egotistical fish enough times, it will bargain for its life with one of its scales. This is just a touch of the artifacts you can find. The remaining artifacts include the Statue of Guys, Mimic Shroom, research documents, and the Approximated Pistol. This week, we spent some time designing the various stages of the Anybody boss. The Anybody is the champion of the cult and respected by the other imposters. Unlike most imposters, who can only maintain a single identity, Anybody has not only achieved the status of someone, but also possesses the ability to mimic multiple personalities. We've created 3 different corpses for the Anybody. The first corpse is a goatling captain, who is Lance's squad member. This goatling is larger than average and sports a heavy suit, making it very durable. The Anybody mimics the player and poses as the gun arm, and utilizes horizontal lash attacks. The second is the flying gunner. Anybody can manipulate this body to hover around and attack you from a distance. In addition, the flying gunner will have the capability to drop grenades from above. The third form is the Shroom Mage, a corpse infested with fungus and draped in mystical robes. This stationary form attacks from the room's center, casting spore spells that cause mushrooms to sprout throughout the area. We will be prototyping these forms over the course of the next week. In our next devlog, we'll showcase the new abilities and how they work. This week, we've also implemented a possession mechanic for the worms throughout the level. When you enter a room full of corpses, there's a high chance that a nobody worm is hiding, ready to possess a body and ambush you. If you defeat one of the Piper enemies, an aggressive worm will now emerge and attack. Regarding the level design, we've been adjusting enemy spawns and devising new challenges for players to overcome. For instance, we've developed a large cavern with a worm infestation. Initially, we sketch a rough layout in a photo editor, then import the image into Unity as an outline to paint over. We then test the feel of the platforming, making necessary adjustments to ensure it is both smooth and challenging. Subsequently, we position enemies and hazards to determine if further tweaks to platforming are required. Generally, we limit complex platforming when adding a large number of enemies, but in later rooms we mix these challenges together to test the player's skills. That's all we have this week for level design, but we look forward to sharing more with you in the next devlog. If you're interested in learning more about the game and the cults we are working on, then you should join our Discord server, where we post updates and engage in discussions. There's a link in the description below. And if you want to support the development of the game, please consider adding Cultist Astronaut to your wishlist on Steam. This will help us gain visibility. Thank you for watching the devlog, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See you in the next video.